It's a beautiful morning. I wish you were here. Is that a beautiful sight or what? Just sharing the beauty. I hope all of you, my friends, are having a wonderful morning. I had 1 cup of coffee and I have my thermos. And we're going to see what we can get into today. If you're one of my friends who are watching my videos, comment below what topic would you like to see me cover in my next video. Please don't be ridiculous, because I'm not going to cover my cummerbund, but I'm not looking for suggestions. I could talk about a trillion things all day long, but I've asked this before, what would you like to see? And most people say, you know, history and ghost stories, and there's plenty of it exactly right where I'm standing. Everywhere I walk in my videos, profound moments in time occurred. Looks like trees and grass to most people, but for some people who know where I am, American Indian history, prehistoric history, Stone Age history. I live near the most ancient mountains on planet Earth. 1 million years ago, the Appalachian Mountains were 10 times higher than Mount Everest. I think a great deal happened there. But in any event, guys, first one to comment on a topic you would like to hear me talk about, please comment below. And thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the beauty. I think I'm going to get through Erbst Woods and around by McPherson's barn, show you something a little different. There's some interesting things that I saw over there the other day. And I think today, pardon me, I might just talk about origins. So let's start with this one. Why do we spit? Well, an obvious answer is that we spit to clear our throats. But what I did and what you did 1,000 years ago, have you guys ever knocked on wood? Okay, when you hear something that somebody says or somebody does that might jinx you, what I did and what you did 1,000 years ago is that we would spit, and it was frankly a very similar thing to knocking on wood. However, we took it a lot more seriously. I'm a very superstitious person. I don't put my shoes up on chairs. I don't put my shoes up on tables. I don't put my shoes up on anything. I don't remove my shoes to store them anywhere except on the floor. In ancient northern tradition, doing so is similar to breaking a mirror, 7 years bad luck. So in our house, we don't put our shoes up on chairs or tables or anything. It's bad luck. Black cats, white cats. Black cats are good luck. White cats, well, you'll have to find out for yourself. This pond was not here 165 years ago. And there's always a couple of great blue herons that are always wandering around this area. In any event, let's move on. 2017 I could run across that. But for those of you who didn't know, I cannot feel my right leg between my knee and my hip. It is gone. It is void. It's a black hole. It no longer exists. You could bayonet me and I wouldn't feel it. My left eye is a blur. Even though I wear contacts, graciously provided by generous, kind, and caring friends. Thank you, all of you. I didn't have eyewear for a year. The sight of my left eye, it varies from morning, noon, and night. Boo-hoo. Camera, video, photos. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. Just absolutely, media never, ever, ever does nature justice. You can never truly explain an experience to anyone unless they have to experience it for themselves. I am high as a kite to be out here this early. I miss getting out for my early morning hikes. And if you're coming along, my friends, thanks for coming along. We just crossed Willoughby Run 165 years ago. There were tens of thousands of troops crossing that water. And that water where I just crossed is where my ancestors washed and crossed, watered their cows. Cousins, distant cousins, second, third cousins, also walked here. It's always something to ponder of what draws us to certain places. And then you uncover mysteries that you did not know. And it's very rewarding. So we're going to head through Erbst Woods and up to McPherson Ridge. One of the other three plants that has grown at both poles, way down there, root systems intact, crowns intact, for millions of years, was that little dandelion. There are three plants that grow at both poles. I've shown you two of them just now. Guess what they are, and you win a date with yours truly, Mr. Bean. You're buying. Kisses are free. Booty squeezes are complimentary. So, welcome to Erbst Woods. I've seen owls in here the size of dogs. The mist, you guys, I hope this captures a little bit of it. Origins. Post-cognition. Do you know what we used to wipe our booties with 1,000 years ago? Dried moss. How do I know that? I don't know, but I've always known it. And unfortunately, it's starting to rain. I have no rain gear. I'm only 1.5 miles from home, and I'm wearing wool. I love wool. I love the feel of it. I love the smell of it. And the biggest bonus is And this is Shetland wool, by the way, and there's a difference, is that I can get soaked in this sweater and it'll still keep me warm. Why did I say Shetland wool? The agronomy, the soil composition determines what plants those sheep eat, okay? And the diet of different sheep in different parts of the world determines their evolution and how those fibers on their coat will grow. So, Shetland sheep live in an incredibly harsh environment. They are eating incredibly harsh monocots, okay, and dicots. And that has allowed them to develop a coat that can withstand incredibly cold, wet climates. So, opt for wool that is harvested from sheep in very harsh, tough parts of the world, and you will be glad that you did. Check it out, y'all. Did you hear it? It went this big boom. My socks, they just blew right off my feet. They're gone. It just knocks my socks off. Wait for the sirens. They'll never find me. Weird bit full Ariad. That is ancient script. It's actually in the Exeter book. But what it means is
don't pull your underwear up too tight and don't wear loose socks.
I still knot out a couple of times a day. I don't know that I knot it out until I wake up. Sometimes at my desk, sometimes at my couch, I just open my eyes and I'm like, shit. And the first thing I have to do is I have to look at the clock to see what time it is to try to estimate how long I've been asleep. But in any event, that has prohibited me from accomplishing a goal, the goal of sharing something incredible with you all. Nasty weather, I love it. I've always been somebody who has pushed my mettle to the test. And so I'm gonna try to do something so that I can share something with you guys that is beautiful, that's memorable. What I'm trying to do is something that I think that people will appreciate, and more importantly, hopefully will inspire people who are ill. And if you've watched my videos and you've been following my stuff for the past couple of years, one of my goals and my mission is to inspire people who are in a similar situation, a health situation like mine, 4 incurable illnesses, 2 life-threatening illnesses. If you're somebody who's just tuning in or somebody who hasn't been paying attention, I have multiple sclerosis, narcolepsy, hereditary hemochromatosis, and costochondritis. At the moment, I think I feel normal. This is probably not normal, but I can do my best to fake it. And shit, man, 2 years ago I would have ran right over this. 2, inspire people like me or unlike me who maybe suffer. That's an interesting word to ponder. People who This is old hat if you've been watching my videos, but I'm hoping to inspire people who are ill to not give up on the things that they are passionate about. Your hobbies, your passions, the crafts that you do, sculptures you make, foods you bake, hiking, nature, volunteering for the well-being and the love of animals. And if whatever it is inspires you, a raindrop on a leaf, the sound of distant thunder, seeing an eagle flying in the sky, whatever it is that inspires you, you're going to fall down. You're going to fall on your face. I've done it many times in the last 2 years. My goals have always been peaks, mountaintops, for certain sunrises and certain sunsets. And there's been several times where I simply could not get off my couch that day. And you fall on your face, you get knocked on your ass trying to do the things you love to do. Even if it's making that Viking spam sandwich. Do your best to put yourself back together as best you can. Step up, stand up, and do what you can do when you can do it. Don't ever give up on the things that you love to do. I implore you. Truly, honestly, and sincerely. I've been told that I have a year to live 2 times since 2005. But this, if I don't get out here in nature, and this beauty just comes into my eyeballs, and it just inspires me. It fills me with passion. It fills me with color. It fills me with the sparks of creation, baby. And if I couldn't get out here, if I didn't force myself, if my willpower wasn't such that I couldn't get out in nature as absolutely often as possible, and being disabled now for over a year, I have plenty of time to do so. But if I couldn't get out here, I'd already be dead. Don't die. Your illnesses, and I don't have your illness, I'm not in your shoes, but your illnesses are not a death sentence. Okay? So, as always, please do your best to get out and do the things that you love to do when you can do them, but don't ever give up on them. See you in a minute. Those 3 trees, what is, what was, and what shall forever be. And so when I first moved to Gettysburg, I think 6 years ago, I told my relatives that I lived there in the little ranger station. And they believed me. Even when I told them that I had an Olympic-sized swimming pool installed, when that little building is probably the size of your living room. When you go to the Midwest, don't eat the corn. Absolutely beautiful day, my friends. That is McPherson Barn, for those of you who don't know, who've never been here. And most of my friends have never been here and do not know. And we are on McPherson Ridge. In this gap goes west to another ridge, which is called Hare's Ridge. And these ridges and these gaps continue for about 10 miles all the way to the Appalachian Mountains. And so we have ridge after ridge after ridge after ridge. And at the bottom of, between Hare's Ridge and McPherson Ridge is Willoughby Run. And I live on Willoughby Run. And if you're a Civil War fan, armchair historian, what have you, I live on the railroad cut and Willoughby Run. And so those two things are of historical significance. If you are a student of the Civil War, you are likely already aware of that fact. And I'm glad to live there, but frankly, it's time for Daryl to move on. Did you know that the Appalachian Trail goes all the way up, almost to Newfoundland? I figure, I guess this video will turn into a personal note of field notes from the fringes of the earth. That if I'm going to be alone most of the time, I should be somewhere where it's beautiful and the climate agrees with me. Now granted, I will call myself a rare, fortunate person that I have always lived someplace that is absolutely beautiful. I've had a rule since I was 20 years old that if you are in a place and you are living in a place, or you are considering living in a place, that you should stop and face to the north, face to the east, face to the south, face to the west, and every direction you look in, if it's a beautiful view, set up camp. If not, keep moving. The thing is, most of my life, I've only ever lived in a place, on the average, about 6 years. We are at the end of my 6 years in Gettysburg. I came, I saw, I did, I accomplished, I achieved. And I'm not somebody who lives a life of tunnel vision with my hobbies. Variety is the spice of life. We have all often heard people say. Life is short. I'm someone who knows that life really is short. I could be gone tomorrow, and this is where some jackass says, yeah, we could all be gone tomorrow. But I want to see, I want to do, I want my eyes to be filled with something that is incredibly and profoundly different that I've never seen before. Every day for the rest of my life. And with the coming of the new gods, with the coming of the technology gods that most of you worship, you think you worship the old gods. That's a topic for a video that I've already shot. Stay tuned. But technology allows people like me and you to share the beauty and the experiences of everything around us in our world with each other. And it's just, this world, from Mount Palomar, the Cleveland Mountains, Yellowstone, the high desert of Idaho, the Black Hills, the Grand Canyon. I am fortunate to have seen and done quite a bit in my life. And I hope you have too. So share it. Tell me about you. What makes you tick? What makes you do backflips? Show me a picture of your pet. Show me, share with me, share with the world those experiences and those things, that beauty that just absolutely takes your breath away. Please. And thank you if you do.